large numbers of lives that have been destroyed because of this war on drugs and because people, were caught smoking marijuana and so forth. I think we have got to end the war on drugs. I am not unfavorably disposed to moving toward the legalization of marijuana.
Would you?
Are you ready to take a position tonight?
No. I think that we have the opportunity through the states that are pursuing recreational marijuana to find out a lot more than we know today. I do support the use of medical marijuana. I think we're just at the beginning.
The street would have locked up violent offenders so they never could get out again, would have given more prison construction money available to the states and as well as the federal government. It's a very well thought out crime bill that is both smart and tough.
Mr. Chairman, how do we talk about the very serious crime problem in America without mentioning that we have the highest rate of childhood poverty in the industrialized world by far, with 22% of our children in poverty and 5 million kids hungry today? Do you think maybe that might have some relationship to crime?
In my state of Vermont, we are a very rural state. What guns are about are hunting, target practice, antique guns, and we have a pretty low crime rate. But I do believe, obviously, that guns in Baltimore and guns in Los Angeles are very different. I have voted against the importation of assault weapons, and I understand that not every part of America is the state of Vermont.
The proposals that I'm making, they're not new. There's nothing, unique about them other than the fact that I am so determined we're going to do everything we possibly can to get this done. And
it is also a tragic day for the future of our planet and for the children, 30,000 of whom in the third world will starve to death today while we spend billions to wage this war. We are spending $270 billion a year on the military, but we don't have a major enemy. I know it hurts your feelings. I know you're upset about it. I know you're hoping and praying that maybe we'll have another war. Who are you worried about? Iraq?
This is a very difficult vote. This is probably the hardest decision I've ever had to make. Any vote that might lead to war should be hard, but I cast it with conviction.
Mr. Speaker, in the brief time I have, let me give you 5 reasons why I'm opposed to giving the President a blank check to launch a unilateral invasion and occupation of Iraq, and why I will vote against this resolution. I have not heard any estimates of how many young American men and women might die in such a war. If President Bush believes that the U.S. can go to war at any time against any nation, what moral or legal obligation could our government raise if another country chose to do the same thing?
I voted for the Iraqi resolution, and it was a very difficult vote for me.
Given the situation in Iraq, do you think that we're better off without Saddam Hussein in power?
Look, I know that there have been a lot of questions about Iraq posed to candidates over the last weeks. I've made it very clear that I made a mistake, plain and simple. And I have written about it in my book. I've talked about it in the past.
Let me ask you this about some domestic issues. Do you think New York State should recognize gay marriage?
No.
No. Okay.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
I want someone who is qualified, someone who is for rights across the board, equal rights for women, equal rights for every ethnicity, equal rights for everyone. It is the only person I can look at is you. Thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Well,
the same people that would vote to cut defense $177 billion, the same ones that would put homos in the military. Sit down, you socialist.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I am rising in support of the amendment. Now, my ears may have been playing a trick on me, but I thought I heard the gentleman a moment ago say something, quote unquote, about homos in the military. Was the gentleman referring to the many thousands and thousands of gay people who have put their lives on the line in countless wars defending this country? You have insulted thousands.
Talking about you and liberals like you that keep the foreign defense.
I go out to high schools all over the state of Vermont. I go to the conservative parts of the state, and I ask the kids, I said, raise your hand, tell me what you think about gay marriage. And kids kind of shrug their shoulders, and they say, what are you talking about? What is the big deal? Which is exactly what we've always wanted in the first place. What is the big deal?
And I am, adamantly against illegal immigrants. You stand in the street corners in Brooklyn or the Bronx, you're going to see loads of people waiting to get picked up to go do yard work and construction work and domestic work.
I think the people who are here, who are raising families and working hard and contributing to our country, deserve a path to citizenship. I have believed that for many years. I have argued that in many different contexts.
To say a few words about the immigration reform bill. As the son of an immigrant, somebody who came to this country at the age of 17 without a nickel in his pocket and who was able to send his 2 kids to college, needless to say, I support immigration. You ask the people of Vermont, they will tell you Bernie Sanders has never run a negative ad. I hate and detest these 30-second ugly negative ads.
It's 3 a.m. and your children are safe and asleep. Who do you want answering the phone?
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
We are very committed to the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
I am opposed to the TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership. I don't think American workers should be forced to compete against people who are working for 56 cents an hour.
What I know about it as of today, I am not in favor of what I have learned about it.
I think that the laws that were passed, again, post 9/11, gave very broad authority. That authority was passed by the Congress, and it was endorsed by executives in 2 administrations, both Bush and Obama.
I think that is exactly where it goes.
I think so.
Right there in the middle on the top. It looks great.
Yeah, doesn't it?
And I also love the idea that you did this wreath so that it corresponded with Washington, D.C. and its tree.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt.